Barnett, thanks for taking the time. Congratulations. Your team starts out 3-0 on the season. Big wins over the weekend, a sweep over Texas A&M Commerce, a tough one over CSUN, and then, of course, the big win over Drake because both teams were 2-0 in that match. Your impression of how your team played?
I was pretty happy. I mean, you win, you go 3-0 after last season. This is a much better start. And I think the biggest thing is the grit and the resiliency that we've shown. Commerce pushed us to 24 all, and then all the way out to 28-26, and then we come all the way back against CSUN and have to serve it out. Carolyn does a really good job in the third set. We close it out in the fifth, and then arguably the same thing against Drake in the fourth and fifth sets. So just some resiliency is really wonderful.
You say that so nonchalant against Drake in the fourth and fifth sets. You were down 23-18, came back and won the fourth set. You were down 10-5 in the fifth set. This, I'm not sure, you remind me, but I haven't seen that type of resiliency that often with an Air Force volleyball team.
The last time was probably the 2020 COVID season when our team was pretty resilient and pretty good and only playing in conference and, beating most of the conference teams and then, splitting or whatever, and going down in 5 in some tough matches. But it was, it's reminiscent of that a little bit, but I think it's a little too soon for that. We're only 3 matches in. There's a long way to go.
Joy Harvey, Defensive Player of the Week in the conference. Talk to me about Joy. Is she developing? Is she getting better? I mean, when she was a freshman, everybody was like, wow, Joy Harvey. Is she getting better in your mind? Yeah,
I think she's starting to figure out the sequence and how hard it is to be a good middle blocker in the conference. And the fact that, a couple times in the match, she's going and working really hard to go close. Somebody hits the ball out of bounds. And she lands, and I'm like, that's as good as a block. Like, they know you're coming, and so therefore they're making the error. It's hard when you have someone that big closing on you. On the men's side, when someone's over 7 foot closing on you, you can feel it, you can see them coming. And when they get you a couple times, you know to avoid them.
Exactly. People knew, I think, coming into this season that you had some pretty good players. I mean, you got Brooklyn Messenger, you have a Sarah Marquardt, you have a Mac Russ and a Joy Harvey, and there's plenty of pieces there, but maybe the depth was missing. I think we saw some of that depth this past weekend. Were you impressed with some of your younger players and how they played?
Yeah, we had a couple freshmen come in and do some nice things. They're good players. They come from really good clubs. That's the thing that has changed over the last decade, is that we're able to get kids that have the experience coming in. We're getting them more complete. That helps a lot. And then we have, some juniors that are coming in, some serving subs, and we've got depth every day in practice that makes us better. It's a wonderful thing. And we have our 2 right sides that are, blocking really, really well and getting kills. It's a race to 25. You don't care how you get there. If it's 28, great. That's what it is. If it's 28-26, hey, we still won the race. If it's ugly, it still counts.
So this week, you take that record on the road to Rhode Island. You're going to play Siena. You're going to play Brown. You're going to play Rhode Island. Talk to me about these teams. I'm sure you've looked at them. And what do you expect, or do you just want to throw that out and more worry about your team?
Even this last weekend, it was more about our side of the net. If you can serve and pass, we're going to go down to sea level. And serve and pass at sea level, it changes 7,000 feet down to sea level. When we went to Weber, we dropped 3,000 feet. So we're starting to get ready for that. There's some tactics and some things we can do in order to make sure our kids are ready. It's a good challenge. You travel, go real far. Teams are good. 2 of them have played this previous weekend. Brown didn't play because the Ivy start second weekend, but they're the Ivy champ. RPI real high last year. They're going to be tough. Freshman of the year in the conference. I think it'll be a good matchup.
Forgive me for asking this question, but and it may be too early to ask, but your team's 3-0. I mean, are we starting to see a little bit of big-headedness maybe of hey, we're pretty good? No,
I think what we saw yesterday in practice was a little bit of fatigue. Some people played some big minutes, and 13 sets in 2 days is a lot. It's a lot for anybody, let alone the academy. So we're trying to just keep it even keel and keep building, keep growing, keep working on some skills and where we're going, and just keep the team as cohesive as we can.
Perfect. Keith Barnett, thanks for the time. Good luck in Rhode Island.
Yeah, hey, thanks.